It's 2 p.m. Central Africa time. The markets are in motion, and it's the perfect time for us to dive deep into the world of business to get a sense of how the markets are performing. And for the next 30 minutes, we shall be doing just that. Hello and welcome to the show. I'm your host today, Sunny Boy Ngongwan. As artificial intelligence and automation technologies advance, the partnerships between human and machines is becoming more important than ever. We had a conversation with Vice Chancellor from the University of Eswatini, Professor Justice Twala. And as Global Money Week draws closer, starting from Monday next week, in this episode, business journalist Nancy Mdlangamandla sits down with key financial leaders, that is the Central Bank and the Financial Services Regulatory Authority, to discuss issues around how to protect individuals from fraud. That and more. We shall also have a market analysis with economist Sanelis Bia joining us on Zoom today. Business news today. Let's get straight into the show. As artificial intelligence and automation technologies advance, the partnership between humans and machines is becoming more important than ever before. This is why the UNESCO Endowment Fund has brought industry leaders together to find ways on accelerating human-machine collaboration. Vice Chancellor at the University of Eswatini, Professor Justice Twala, says merging artificial intelligence, AI, with human intelligence is important because it can create powerful synergies that enhance both human and machine capabilities.
We are hosting a workshop on accelerating human and machine collaboration through UNESCO Foundation. This is an important day for us because we're trying to see what sort of influences the use of machines in all sectors of life, and more especially in education as an educational institution. We have noticed the advent of artificial intelligence, which started long ago. We are moving from the fourth industrial revolution to the fifth industrial revolution, where we are seeing machines participating more, basically having the ability to think, of course, through using algorithms which are created by humans. So basically, we want to see how we can utilize machines to aid human beings, basically in solving some of the socio-economic problems such as poverty, unemployment, and disease. And as a university, we play a big role because we've got quite a huge population of youth that will fill into industry. So basically, we're trying to look at how best can we improve our teaching, basically to produce the right graduate who will fit into the market locally and globally. We have got quite a wide range of experts here in the university, and we've also invited some specialists and experts from the banking industry who are participating in this workshop.
Artificial intelligence is transforming the way companies operate, improving efficiency and increasing competitiveness. Now, Vusi Sambo, an IT expert, says one of the primary ways businesses can utilize artificial intelligence is through automating repetitive tasks. He says this saves time and allows employees to focus on more strategic and creative challenges.
In the past, we used to say computers, but now we are saying machines. Collaboration of human and machines. In this case, we are referring to everything that has an element of intelligence. We are talking AI, and this AI is on top of these machines. The message that we are bringing is that machines are not here to compete with people. They are here to assist people to do things fast. You would find that to do a certain task, you will have to engage in a number of mathematical calculations. But now you can just push that question into these machines and you will get a quick response. And therefore, you take quick decisions. And the second part is what we learned yesterday might not be relevant tomorrow. So we need to engage in this culture of continuous learning just when you think you're on top of your game, the game will be over. Reason being, there's rapid technological changes. So we need to develop a society that is engaged on continuous learning. We often talk of learning and unlearning. So this is the message that we are bringing. To run a business is costly. Artificial intelligence can assist in cutting costs due to a number of reasons. As I've mentioned earlier, that in the past you'll find that there will be a task that will require maybe 5 individuals, which will be in the payroll. You may find that now you can release the other 4 and to go and do other tasks of the business and remain with 1 for that particular task. And also, we are seeing a number of companies converging as a result of technology and artificial intelligence in this case. Like in the banking sector, we are seeing convergence with fintechs, whereby this is an advantage in the sense that the financial exclusion, we are just killing that divide because now even someone who is le ekhaya kithi kumahamba, you may find that now he's able to tap into finances through the use of fintechs. Ebhange lakithi nje sinayo i-fintech kube benginikiwe permission bengidayisho but ke technology is here to help us on a number of things kwakha efficiency and also siyayibona is-improvela kakhulu ku decision making.
Right, let's take a break. And after the break, we shall have market analysis. We're doing things a bit different today because usually we do the market analysis with Mr. Sibiya first before we get that. But then now we shall take a quick break. And after that, we get the market analysis first before we have a discussion with the economist Sanele Sibiya.
Eswatini TV has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Eswatini Communications Commission. We are committed to reporting news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that does not amount to hate speech or the description of gratuitous violence or explicit sex. For any complaints of our programming, please contact us on 2411-9600 or email info@eswatinitv.co.za. You can also contact the Eswatini Communications Commission on 2406-7000 or write a letter to ECCOM on PO Box 7811 Mbabane. Email address is info@ecom.org.sz.
Welcome back to the program. This is Market View, and for the next 30 minutes, we are diving straight into the world of business, where we take a look at how markets are performing today. And speaking of performances of the markets, on our Zoom line, now we have economist Sanele Sibiya to give us an analysis on how the markets are performing today. Good day, Mr. Sibiya, and welcome to Market View. How is the performance of the Wall Street markets today, and how are they performing?
Thank you, Mr. Nxumalo, and good afternoon to the viewer. So what we're seeing in Wall Street is a bit of an upward trend from, the trillions of losses that we saw in Wednesday's trade. But we saw that yesterday due to the fact that we saw encouraging CPI figures. Then Wall Street seems to have started an upward surge. But we're still seeing that industrial zones have an aggregate. The the DIJ, the DJI is still on that negative territory. And if you look at the Nasdaq, it's still on that 17 territory, having lost some 2,000 points over the past 2 or 3 days. That's how volatile markets are at the present moment, and looking at the uncertainty that the Trump presidency brings into the markets and worries over the overall health of the U.S. economy. But inflation figures came out yesterday, and they showed that it's kind of slowing down to 2.8%, which goes to counter the tariff narrative. But right now, we've not seen any tariffs coming into effect. So probably as we watch to see what's going to happen in March in terms of those figures and the health of the U.S. economy, considering we are bringing in the 25% tariff on all steel imports into the U.S., cutting across the board. So waiting to see how that will work. And we do know that with Canada and Mexico, there has been a bit of a letdown in terms of those tariffs, in terms of other tariffs. So that's what the markets are fearing and they're jittery over in the U.S. And then if you move into the European markets, what you see is an overall mood of sadness within the Eurozone, and also London just holding on a bit, purely because we do know that London is not part of the Eurozone anymore. So the tariffs that President Trump proposes against the Eurozone will not necessarily affect the United Kingdom as yet. So that's why we're seeing the FTSE 100 staying at that 8,557 in terms of all trade volumes. However, when you move into Frankfurt, and you can see that there's been some marginal losses there in terms of some 0.14 percentage points. And then if you look into Paris as well, as it went, when you quoted the numbers, you saw that they were in a bit of a positive territory, but relatively remaining unchanged because of those tariff talks. And then when you move into Asia, across the board, there has been some losses in the markets. Again, the issue here is Donald Trump and his tariffs, and the fear of a trade war. We know that China has already said they're going to retaliate. The Eurozone said they're also working on their own set of tariffs. Canada is working on their own set of tariffs against the US. I'm sure even Mexico is also doing the same. So the uncertainty is being felt across the entire Asian region. And when you look into the Nikkei, you can see that we moved just from a 30,000 mark at the start of this week's trade, and now we are sitting right there at 36,000. If this uncertainty continues, we should expect to get to that level of 35 in terms of that volume. So it's been major losses in the markets across the board. If you look into the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, yes, there is a bit of a positive change there, and that is because when you look at the fact that yesterday a budget was actually tabled, the fact that it was tabled means something for markets. And overall, when you look at it, it does seem to favor businesses, but it's that issue of the VAT that seems to be a continuous thorn, and we don't know if it's going to pass that way. But the fact that we have a budget that somehow gave markets something to look forward to. And when you look into the domestic stock exchange, nothing has moved. Again, moving into commodities, the uncertainty in Wall Street, in London, in Europe, in Tokyo, and in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange is also reflected in the price of gold today. We are at that $2,954 per ounce. So we just some 50 cents short of reaching a new all-time high of $3,000 per barrel. So the uncertainty definitely is being felt within the gold markets. The golds are actually benefiting off of that. And the price of Brent crude, again, staying relatively low at that $70.7 per barrel. Again, that is an issue of markets fearing subdued economic activity going forward into going forward because of those recession fears in the US, and that deflationary spiral that we are seeing in China in the present moment. With the currencies, we are seeing relative weakness of the domestic currency against all major currencies that we look against. We're seeing it fall slightly against the dollar to that 18 emalangeni 37 cents per dollar, 19 emalangeni 96 cents per euro, and 8 emalangeni 7 cents per Japan per yen. You're right. So that again looks into the issue of stability. You have a budget, it's there, but it seems that the government of national unity seems it's not going to hold. I mean, it's unheard of to hear a party that is in government saying we are going to oppose this bill. The DA has come out to say that they're going to oppose this appropriations bill. So that's just reflecting in the currency, and we do not know if the bill will pass in its current state or it's going to have to be rewritten. So there is a bit of that uncertainty on the fiscal side from the South African markets, and that's why we are seeing that relative weakness. Thank you, Mr. Numalo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sibiya. That was economist Sanele Sibiya giving us a market analysis on how the markets and the global markets, in fact, are performing given all the geopolitics that are affecting the performance of the dollar, the euro, and all the markets in the world. And right about now, we continue with the show. Now, as the Global Money Week draws closer, starting from Monday next week, this episode, business journalist Nelson Ndlangamandla sits down with key financial leaders, the Central Bank of Eswatini and the Financial Services Regulatory Authority, FSRA, to discuss critical initiatives designed to protect individuals and businesses from fraud. They will also share plans to ensure the country has sound financial systems.
Hi, I'm Golda. I work at the IMF. What is globalization? Well, think of it like a bridge between two countries. Now let's say this country is very good at growing flowers. It has the right soil and plenty of skilled farmers. And just across the river, that country loves flowers, but doesn't have the right soil to grow them. You can see where I'm going with this. With our bridge, trade has blossomed. This country makes money from selling flowers abroad, and that country can start new businesses and sell new products based on their newfound access to flowers. I mean, who doesn't love fresh flowers? Of course, it's not just flowers that can cross the bridge. It can be used to trade almost anything. Plus, there are pathways for investing, communicating, and exchanging ideas. And people can come and go too. Now, what does this have to do with globalization? Well, imagine bridges just like this, connecting countries all over the world, even countries on opposite sides of the planet. That's globalization. These bridges, these economic links, have made everything from food to electronics cheaper. And not just that, globalization has made the whole planet richer too, especially people in poorer countries. Over the past 30 years, 1.5 billion people have been lifted out of poverty. But this is only part of the story. While globalization has brought more benefits for more people than ever before, it's also true that not everyone has benefited from the increased wealth. For many people, it can appear the bridge is bringing more problems than flowers, and that the economy isn't working for everyone or every country. So what should we do? Well, the solution isn't to destroy our bridges or to throw out the rule book. That would leave us all poorer and less secure. So, do we maintain, rebuild, or redesign these bridges? Write new rules that help them to work better? Or search for new ways to ensure everyone can benefit? Probably all of the above. More than ever, we need international cooperation, countries working together, and the IMF working with its member countries to build the best possible bridges to get us to the future. That will not just be good for the economy, but good for people everywhere.
Welcome back. You're still watching Market View, and now in this next segment of Enterprise Watch, as the Global Money Week draws closer, starting from Monday next week. In this episode, business journalist Nelson Langamandla sits down with key financial leaders, that is the Central Bank of Eswatini and the Financial Services Regulatory Authority, FSRA, to discuss critical initiatives designed to protect individuals and businesses from fraud. They will also share plans to ensure the country has sound financial systems.
Mr. Mavuso, welcome to Market View. Thank you for joining us on the show. As we approach the Global Money Week, we thought we should come to the central bank. We want to find out, Mr. Mavuso, we would see what are the prevalent financial scams in Eswatini.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nelsiwe. I think there are several risks associated with financial products and services, such as fraud, scams, crypto assets related risks, and data privacy concerns, which are ever present in today's digital age. And our youth is inherently susceptible to these risks for a catalogue of reasons and factors that include their activeness in the digital space, as their tech savviness. Digital scams, I think, are some of the activities that keep us awake at night because of the financial injury they cause to the very consumers we are entrusted by law to protect. And furthermore, I think other fraudulent activities that continue to be a major source of cause of concern is the prevalence of pyramid schemes, which has led to many Emaswati to lose their hard-earned savings and pensions. Having said that, we are, however, optimistic that the law enforcement efforts, coupled with consumer education and protection interventions, will yield the desired dividends.
I know that you have mentioned social media, the digital platforms, as one of the accelerators, but what are the other things that people should look out for in order for them not to fall for these scams?
There are several factors that accelerate these consumer-related risks, and these are, we have seen the development in the digital finance, which has been characterized by technological advancements, the way in which consumers interact with financial services online, the emergence of financial influencers, and the increasing use of artificial intelligence, and all of these factors make it difficult for consumers, in particular the youth, to identify reliable information and advice.
What is it that the central bank is doing to help people not to fall into the scams, or what preventive measures should consumers take?
Yeah, we have various campaigns that seek to educate our consumer community on the ways and measures they can prevent these scams, and we do encourage consumers to verify transaction details. They should be particularly wary of any investment opportunities that promises high returns in short periods, especially if the promoter claims to have invented a groundbreaking technology or a special investment scheme. Additionally, consumers are encouraged to ensure that whenever they are encountered with a scheme that pressurizes them to keep their investment a secret, or keep that a secret from financial regulators, it is a clear indication that it may be a potential scam. And in order to protect themselves, consumers are also encouraged to always question unsolicited offers that seem too good to be true. They are also encouraged to exercise extreme caution when dealing with crypto assets. And lastly, I think it is crucial for our consumers to, especially the young generation, to develop sound money management skills, recognize emotional triggers, and develop a critical eye towards information sources.
When we started this conversation, Mr. Mavuso, I did mention that I came to Central Bank because we are going into Global Money Week. So, what message will you be delivering during the day?
Global Money Week promotes efforts aimed at improving the financial literacy for our young people, and the ultimate goal of this campaign is to ensure that all children and young people have the access to high quality financial education. They learn about money matters and are able to take smart financial decisions. And in terms of the 2025 Global Money Week theme, think before you follow, I think it seeks to highlight that strengthening financial literacy can help young people better navigate financial markets, resist temptation, and spot biased advice, and ultimately leading to smarter financial decisions. And I think in terms of the model and approach for this year's Global Money Week, next week from 18 to 20 March 2025 will be, we have organized an educational fair that will provide a practical laboratory and a mall of information to advance these financial literacy goals and objectives.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mavuso, for those insights. We cannot talk about issues of financial fraud without involving the FSRA. So, Mr. Mkhabela, siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi ube nathi elihlelweni. So, my question to FSRA is, how do you protect consumers from financial fraud, misleading financial products, as well as unfair practices by financial institutions?
Okay. As a regulator, the role of the FSRA is to protect the interest of stakeholders, and particularly consumers, by first controlling entry into the market space and ensuring that entities are properly licensed. Once the entities are licensed by the FSRA, we then monitor their conduct. How do we monitor their conduct? We ensure that consumers are treated fairly, and the products and services that they are offered to them are suitable for their needs. Also, the Financial Services Regulatory Authority provides financial literacy to enhance understanding of the risks and benefits that are associated with the different types of investments. What the FSRA also has done through the FSRA Act, we have established the Office of the Ombudsman of Financial Services, which also assists in resolving and actually accepting complaints from the consumers, and then a response to those concerns by the consumers whilst dealing with the FSPs.
Are there any upcoming initiatives or policies that are aimed at fostering innovation in financial technology?
What FSRA has done, we have established what we call FinMark Sandmark, which allows the regulated entities to do a pre-test of their technological innovations. These platforms also provides the gathering of data and user feedback, so much that the feedback that is received, it is then used to assess or improve the products and services offered by the fintech entities.
We have seen Eswatini over the years losing a lot of money because of making bad choices when they want to invest. As we go into Global Money Week, as FSRA, what message will you be pushing?
Hence the theme, think before you follow, wise money tomorrow. We'll be actually pushing that the young youth or the young generation should learn to save at a tender age, and they should also try and invest at a tender age, so that they can have a brighter future when it comes to financial matters.
Mr. Mavuso and Ms. Mkabela, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's been a pleasure having you here. Let's hope that all the insights they have shared here today will ensure that policies are developed that will ensure soundness and stability of the financial institutions in Eswatini.
Right, and that's how we hit the home stretch of Market View, and that brings us to the conclusion of all our business shows this week. Have yourselves a wonderful day going forward. Bye-bye.